Today is May 14th, 2023, Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms out there, including my own, who put up with a lot of crap over the years. So thank you, Mom. Today, you might notice that my setup looks a little better than usual. I'm not just shooting on my iPhone. I actually have my camera set up. I got some lights that I'm using to make everything look nice. And I just wanted to show what makes video look good. So there's certain features that will make something look really high quality, cinematic, as some people might say. And the biggest aspect is contrast. So there's a few different ways you can create contrast in your videos. The first one is just light and dark. So you can see on this side of my face there's some shadow there, and on this side of my face it's very light, and that gives shape to my face. It gives depth. If it was just evenly lit all the way across, it would look very flat, but instead it pops out, and that's what contrast with light can do. And you want to create like a series of these alternating light and dark layers. So like it starts with this lamp right here, very light, and then you get the wall, it's kind of shadowy, and then a little bit of light right here on this part of my face, and then you get the shadow, and then the light again, and then the shadow and the light. You want to kind of try and build these layers across the image, and that will give you more contrast. It'll make it more appealing to the eye. The next way of creating contrast is through color. So, as you can see, the lamp behind me, just a normal tungsten desk lamp, gives kind of a orangish, yellowish glow to it. And then you have the blue nan light over my other shoulder, which is blue. And the blue and the orange, or blue and yellow, those are complementary colors, so they're on the opposite side of the color wheel, and they contrast with each other. And so when you can include both of those, it's again pleasing to the eye because of that contrast. Another way you can create contrast is through depth of field. So I'm shooting this at the lowest aperture possible on the lens that I'm using, which is 2.8, which makes my face is nice and sharp and in focus, and then the background is a little bit blurry, and that creates separation between me and the background, and it creates depth, it creates contrast. Again, looks very appealing to the eye. And then another similar kind of aspect is like finding contrast between soft objects and sharp ones. So you can see on this side we have the wall, it's just flat, it's a single color. The light's kind of just radiating off of it in a very smooth way. And then on the other side, I have the curtain with like the crosshatch, more like pattern stitch kind of lines. So again, you have contrast between those two things. And so those are just some simple ways to make your videos look more appealing. You get that contrast. There's something about it that just gives depth to the image. It the opposite would be flat. You just get a flat image. It's like if you just put me up against a wall and it looks like there's no depth to the image, just flat lighting across the face, it wouldn't look very appealing. But when I set it up like this, it looks a lot better. So if you're shooting, you can do this with an iPhone too. You don't have to have like a really nice setup like I do. You can, use just whatever you have. A good way to do that is to place your key light, so your whatever light source, it could be the sun, a window, something like that, kind of at a 45-degree angle, so it casts, it'd be over here for me, and it would cast that shadow across the face. That's one way to get depth. And if you have a backlight, then you can even create more separation from the background. That's a way to create that contrast. Or if you're shooting in a smaller area, try and keep the subject far away from the wall. So you don't want to be like right back up against a wall, because if the wall was like right here behind me, there would be no depth to the image. So a good way to create that depth is to take your subject and pull them as far forward away from the background as you can. If you're in a small room, just shoot into the corner. That's what I'm doing here. And it'll create that depth. So I don't think there's anything else I want to touch on with this subject right now, but I hope that helps you with some video shooting tips, whatever, I hope it helps your videos look better. So that's all I got for today. Peace.